hard to find a place in the daytime nowadays with no noise. There's roadworks going on everywhere. It was way too loud. I tried to wait it out a bit, but it was just getting too late. I ain't even been gym yet. So without further ado, let's get this popping. I might as well do the prayer now. So party stuff back, the affirmation. Anuki fi pa ashuk shil kulum, wakul ashuk kalun fini. Anuki farugun shil kulum, wakul kalun farugun shilni. Anuki wahed ka kulum, wakul kalun wahed kani. Nuk aikilu anjihu kama farugun shil kulum, wakub kama faryudun. Nuk aikilu akwanu kuldek, nuk akfuzi fi kulum kama tawul kama kafuzi kalundia amidu fi kulum. Anuki kabaha wahud, kulum kalun anuki, kulum yakul, nuk aikilu, kulum dora nuk admilu. Right, so that's done. Guys, I want to talk about the Living Library. It's kind of like an advanced class to do with quantum. But last night it came down to me in my brainstorm, so I thought I'm gonna wake up in the morning and bullet point this thing before gym. I wanted to do it at 11 o'clock. I apologize. All kind of roadworks just started round the corner from my yard, and then I went over there. There's more roadworks over there, so it's just noise everywhere. So hopefully here you'll be able to hear me as we go through this. Give it 2 minutes and let the rest of the tribe find their way to this live. I got no music for you today, but whoever you are, I don't know who you are. But salute for being the first here to the video. But yeah, we're going to talk about, I spoke about it a bit before in the live. If you scroll through my lives, I've got a live called The Theory of Everything. And I spoke about it before. This is months ago, maybe at the back end of 2021. I think it was one of my first YouTube lives, the lives that I did, yeah? So, but that's a very informative live, but I feel like I could simplify it a bit now that we've come past. This is 6 months later when we've learned so much, we've downloaded so much information, we've learned different aspects of what this universe is. So I think it's a good time to jump us back into the quantum field of things to give us a better understanding of what's happening here on this side of the mirror, if I may put it like that. Yeah, so shout out to I think I seen Mahogany X. Shout out to Mahogany X. Bless up, family. Shout out to Empress Chanel. Bless up, Chanel. Let's go. Let's dance. Y'all got a pen and paper, yeah? And if some of the stuff I talk about kind of goes over your head, don't worry about it. The more you study and the more you go back over the information, certain things that didn't sit with you initially will jump out at you the second time or the third time or the fourth time you go around it, okay? So don't, if you're feeling like, yo, I don't even know what he's talking about, don't worry about it. I'm trying to introduce you guys to some more of the quantum language that you will hear in the Mzungu scientific community to do with all these theories and all of that stuff, and tie it into the bigger picture of us being in this, what we call in universe, right? So I'm gonna call it the Living Library, and there's a reason I'm calling it the Living Library, okay? Shout out to the Telegram forum, shout out to Empress Lotus, shout out to Stacks, shout out to all the Meja, shout out to Killer Gorilla, all the Meja, man. Shout out to Sid. So yeah, the original universe, if you want to call it that, was meant to be a holographic projection of consciousness. It wasn't always what we're seeing here, what we're calling the matrix. I want you to understand, when I talk about the holographic simulation, I'm not talking about the matrix that we're in now. I'm separating the two. So here I'm speaking about the original creation, the original physical universe that was created as a holographic projection of consciousness. Okay, that was the original simulation that was built by the primal creator or source creator, the source energy. Okay, and in that original simulation, time was created to be something exciting. It wasn't supposed to be the burden of what we call time today, but we'll break that down and get to that for you. Okay, in this original universe, there was no karma. Karma didn't even exist yet. So there was no reincarnation, and I'll break that down for you as well. Put it this way, the allness, or this, what you want to call force, this universal force, it became aware of itself. The creator became aware of itself. I can't tell you when it became aware of itself, but there's a point in which the creator became aware of itself. And as we said before, the creator knows everything, but the creator hasn't experienced everything. So within that awareness, when it became aware of itself, now it wants to experience what it knows of itself, what itself is and what itself isn't. Okay? So in order to do that, it had to create a state of nothingness, or create of a state of the unknown, or a state, if we want to call it, ignorance, where now you're going to have to get to know yourself again, because now you've put yourself in an ignorant state to be able to give yourself experiences so you can learn who you are and or what you are and what you're not. Okay? And we're going to come down to what is the matrix differently from explaining what this simulation is. Okay, so first we had to create a state. That state is what we call ignorance, the state of the unknown. Okay, nothingness, which is everything but nothing. That nothingness has in all the ingredients for physical creation. Okay, and as I said, the source became conscious, so it created this state of ignorance, so it can fill in this state of ignorance with experiences, with the knowing, to get to know itself again, to learn itself again. So what it starts doing is breaking itself into aspects of itself and sending out aspects of itself to experience what we're calling physical reality or life or existence. Okay, now in this nothingness there's 4 elements, yeah, which they tell you is fire, wind or air, yeah, earth, yeah, and water. Yeah, there's a 5th element that goes with this matter that Western science, nursery science, never considered. Only now are they considering it, now that quantum physics has passed Einstein and has passed Newton. Now they're saying, okay, well, there's something behind the solid, the fire, the air, the water, the earth. There's something behind it that animates it, yeah? Our ancestors always told us that this thing that's underlying all creation is consciousness. Consciousness is the missing element, okay? So underneath these 4 states of existence, or 4 elements of consciousness, yeah, you've got what you call 4 elements in the physical universe. Consciousness underlines it, okay? And there's 3 states of existence known to us. There may be more, but to us mortals with this limited perception, we know 3 states of existence, which is solid, liquid, and gas, which is really the 3 of the same thing. It's just different densities of the same thing, but that's how our 3D experience operates. Solid, liquid, gas. There's nothing outside of that. For us, with our limited perception, there's no in-between, there's no fourth. Even though there is, for us in this limited field of perception, this pondfish perception, we can't see nothing outside of them 3 states of existence. So you've got the earth, fire, air, water, yeah, and also you've got solid, liquid, and gas. And that links into your 3 planes. Now, a plane is not the same as a dimension. When we speak about 3rd density and 4th density or dimension, it's not the same as saying a plane. A plane is a different type of vibration. So a plane now, you've got mental plane, spiritual plane, and physical plane. And that ties into your 3 states of existence, which is solid, liquid, and gas. Water, yeah, liquid, is in between the solid and the gas. So water is the conduit between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. Or as you see the video we posted on TZT when they're saying water is God, when I was putting in the caption that it's the consciousness behind water that you should say is God. Not in essence water itself, even though it sounds good, it's a fantastic concept, okay? So they're the 4 elements, consciousness, and the 3 states of existence. So this simulation that we're in, calling the physical universe, it was supposed to be a congruent linear experience. When I say linear, time was supposed to be exciting, where it's like, okay, past, present, future. So now we're experiencing these experiences in a linear fashion. It's coming from the past and going to the future, even though time doesn't exist. We created that in the original simulation so we could have fun with these experiences, like learning, yo, today's Monday, I wake up tomorrow, it's Tuesday. We created this. This wasn't created just by archons to trap us in the matrix. They used it. It was already there, but it wasn't operating on this dynamic as a trap thing. It was a blissful experience where we could manifest as physical, come into time and come outside of time. So we moved through time. We moved in and out of time. But something trapped us here. We're going to get there, yeah? So it was supposed to be, as I said, a congruent linear experience, meant to be a living library of experiences. We're all accumulating these experiences. Remember, we already know, you know, God already knows. God already knows everything, but God hasn't experienced everything. So therefore, this has been created So God, or the source, can experience everything in awareness. This is consciousness in awareness of itself. Okay? Where am I? Yeah? So it's a congruent linear experience meant to be a living library of experiences, yeah? It's a living library, and that goes into DNA, and we'll get there. And as I said, it's three planes of existence, which is your mental, your spiritual, and your physical. The mental plane is above the spiritual plane. All thoughts that you get in your head, they're not your thoughts. These thoughts come down from the spiritual plane, the mental plane, and filter down through the spiritual plane into this physical plane, or the plane of force. Yeah, hold on, where am I? Yo, I make so much notes, yeah, it's so easy to leave yourself. I need a ruler and shit out here. Yeah, mental plane, okay. So, all of this, what you're seeing around you, I was supposed to say this at the end of the Are You a God or You're Mortal live. I was supposed to say everything you see in this physical creation is a form of technology. Just like we're down here and we make smartphones, tablets, computers, laptops, you know what I'm saying? 5G, all of this digital computerized stuff that we make down here in the form of machines and technology, you need to look at yourself. You are the technology of the cosmos. We are technology. This body that I'm in is a technology. These trees are technology. All the animals on this realm, they're technology. It's the technology of the Most High Anu. Or if you want to say the technology of the universe, the technology of consciousness. Why? Because you have systems inside of you, the same systems that run computers and machines. You have a neural system, which is how your brain works. There's a whole bunch of networks inside of your brain system, neural system, that allow your brain to function. It's the same with your lymphatic system or your respiratory system. All of this shit is technology. The way your mind works, the way your thoughts work. That's why everything in our realm mimics this technology of the gods. It mimics us. If you look at a car, the way that a car is built with its petrol system, that's like built off your digestive system. If you look at binoculars or cameras, that's built off your eyes. If you look at aeroplanes and helicopters and stuff, they're built off insects like dragonflies and birds and different stuff. So you in yourself are a form of technology. We are the technology of the cosmos that is manifested, densified energy, manifested. We're energetic components. We're energetic technology. You are a technology. Do you understand what I'm saying? You sitting here in this technology of consciousness. Same as the animals, same as the trees, same as the planet itself. Okay, where am I? So these templates for this technology of consciousness, or what we're calling physical life, they have been fine-tuned over billions of years. There could be a whole human population where nature's like, you know what, we need to get rid of this and put somewhere else there. And remember, souls are immortal. So there could be a whole population, let's just say Mayans, and the Mayans disappeared, they got wiped out. And then a new people came up in place of the Mayans. But a lot of these souls that were inside these Mayans, I'm not saying this has happened, I'm just using the Mayans as an example. A lot of these souls that got wiped here, they return in these new people because the soul is immortal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the trees, humans, animals, the earth itself, everything has been perfected and fine-tuned over billions of years to reach the stage where it is now, where it's all working in unison, in a harmonious fashion, as the earth itself is a form of technology. You see what I'm saying? And this is what we're getting at in Treasures in the Sand when we keep speaking about the technology of the consciousness, because it links into the alchemy of the masters and how they see themselves as a part of this technology. So everything underneath their feet, underneath my feet, was an extension of me. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So I'm not separate from the earth. I'm not separate from the trees. I'm not separate from you. I'm not separate from the animals. Do you understand? We'll get there. I'm building up here. I tried to make the notes in a cohesive way so you could keep up with me, because I know this might go over some people's head. So we're the templates of creation that have been perfected over time. And as I said, souls never die. So now we're getting into the time of quantum mechanics. Let's say it started in the 1960s, 70s. We've entered into a new realm of consciousness now, because we've gone beyond the nursery science of people that they celebrate, like Einstein. That's some nursery science that he came with. The same with before him was Isaac Newton and his laws of physics. Isaac Newton came with the laws of physics, which describe this realm really good from this side of the mirror. When you're talking about gravity and all of that palaver, that's only on this physical 3D side of the mirror. If we go subatomic beyond the atom, none of that Newtonian shit works. The laws of physics, everything has gone out the window. So here again, the Mzungu can only explain this thing in separate parts. When there is really no separate parts, this thing's a unified whole. So if he keeps going on the line he's going on, trying to separate this thing into particles and study certain particles like electrons and neurons and protons, he's missing the whole point. You can never be separate. There's nothing, parts don't even exist. You are not a part of the all. You are the whole. You are the all that has created itself as a human or as a tree or as an animal for a temporary while to experience these set of experiences that we already know. We're going to lead ourselves back to ourselves or the divinity in ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so all of this was just templates. Yeah, it's really illusions. I'll show you how. But quantum mechanics, what it's really doing is bringing humans or Mzungu scientists, because we already know this shit. Most of us know it deep down in ourselves. But now the Mzungu is finding out through quantum mechanics, is bringing him, yeah, and his Mzungu perception into, hold on, everything is the one, everything's connected. It's making him realize the oneness of all things. Quantum mechanics is, you understand? It's making him see past Newtonian physics and the law of relativity, what Einstein brought out. So this is consciousness in awareness of itself, just like I told you how the source became aware of itself. That's just like you when you have an awakening, like, hold on, fucking hell, you've woke up. You understand? So what I'm saying is we're really fractals. When I say fractals, we're a part of the universe, just to use the word apart, yeah? We're a part of the universe or the all that is just coming back into the self-realization of itself. So before you come into the realization of yourself, you exist as a fractal. You think you're separate than me, or you're separate from the tree, or everything is separated. And so we look at everything in separate parts. We don't look at nothing as a unified whole. It's like we take the bed sheet and chop it up into loads of little pieces and take one of the pieces, and we want to work out this whole bed sheet by studying this one little piece of bed sheet that we've cut out. That's the world for you. Rather than take the whole bed sheet and study how, hold on, it's all connected. That corner is connected to this corner, is connected to that corner, is connected to that corner. In science, they call it non-locality. What that means is if I affect one of the atoms in this corner, all of a sudden the atom in that corner, all of them are affected. Which this non-locality in science, in quantum physics, has showed the Mzungu that, hold on, these black people were right. Everything's connected to res clair. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not admitting it to you. They're not teaching you that in your elementary schools, in your public schools. They're keeping that part to themselves. They're still going to teach you Big Bang theory on itself, torsion theory on itself, string theory on itself. We could speak about all of them theories. You understand? Because I consider myself a scientist. You should too. And do your own in-depth investigations into things. Do you understand? And that's why I'm able to present you with this information. I hope you're keeping up with me. Let's go further, yeah? So it's consciousness in awareness of itself on the objective level with the source, primal source, the creator, yeah? Or down here on the subjective level as a human, when you're coming into the awakening and the realization of yourself. Okay, it's consciousness in awareness of itself, and what you have is different frequencies, yeah, and different vibrations of this fractal. These fractals, they're all at different vibrations and perceptions of the reality of self or the realization of self. They're not all on the same level. Do you understand? These fractals, they've got different frequencies and different vibrations. You understand? Now, all of this started from a dot. We spoke about this in the theory of everything life. It started from one dot of infinite density. That one dot contained every element in this physical universe, packed together, compact, in a dot or a ball or an egg, as they say in Egypt, the egg of Ra, where the first sun came out of, yeah? So this dot, black dot, what they call nukta in Islam, they use it as a full stop, but it comes from the nukta, the black dog, the egg, the black dot, the egg of Ra. Do you understand? And this goes into the depths of quantum theory. This is how it begins. That black dot was meant to have exploded. When it exploded, it became a line. Then that line became a square. Then that line, the square, a circle became inside the square, where you've got north, east, south, and west, and 360 degrees. Sacred geometry is created. Out of sacred geometry, the dot and the line, you get metaphysics, you get quantum science, you get algebra, you get number theory, you get alchemy, you get astrophysics, yeah? You get particle physics, you get atomic theory, Big Bang theory, string theory, torsion theory, M theory, which is the master theory. You get light and mathematics, which is light harmonics. Now, when we speak about mathematics, a lot of people don't understand that from this first dot, this explosion or this Big Bang, came chaos. Yeah, so there was a lot of chaos, energies clashing into each other. Nothing is defined. And so out of this chaos, you have to find an order. So the order was brought by Ma'at, who manifested as the nature. It's a feminine principle, where all this masculine energy clashing and licking and yo. Now you need a feminine energy to bring the balance into this. So now you have the yin yang, you understand? You have the wheel of life being spun out of this sacred geometry, out of this Big Bang, which they're trying to tell you is the start, which ain't no start. It's just the start of certain different suns and certain different universes. I can't tell which bang is the first Big Bang. Only the Most High knows where the first Big Bang existed. Yeah? And make note that the bang is not a bang like pfft. It's like when you inflate a balloon pfft, and the balloon spreads out. It just spreads out. It weren't like a bang, like an explosion like they make you think. It's more like when you blow into a balloon pfft, and the thing expands. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Now where was I? Yeah, so mathematics is ma'at, magic. Mathematics was used to bring this order out of the chaos, to use number theory, because numbers can't lie. 1 is 2 in every religion. So the language of the gods, or the language of ma'at, if you want to say that, is mathematics. That's really ma'at, magic. You understand? It's a form of number theory that builds and constructs the 1 that becomes 2, or the 1 that becomes 1, another, and then goes back to 1, or the 1, the source, the same, having the same source that wants to have all these experiences becomes more than 1. And from it becomes more than 1, it goes back into the oneness of itself, if you see what I'm trying to say with, here. It's hard to explain this. I hope I'm doing okay. So the language of numbers led to what science calls the Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci is some Italian scientist, and because he discovered it in modern times, they call it the Fibonacci sequence, yeah? Our ancestors call them the divine numbers. It's linked into sacred geometry. It's basically showing you a mathematical formula for everything in physical creation, from the atom to the tree, to everything in creation is done by the Fibonacci sequence, and things like the golden ratio, which gives a certain kind of uniformity and beauty to the tree. Like the trunk's not too big, or it's not too high, so it's gonna fall over and break. Like everything is deliberate, everything is precise, everything is from the mind of the all. There's no evolution, Darwinism, natural selection shit going on here. That's bullshit. It's intelligent design. Everything is deliberate. By the end of this live, you will not feel as agitated about Illuminati and Cabal and stuff, because you'll understand, hold on, all this shit is part of a greater scheme. So I shouldn't be fearing reptilians or Illuminati or none of that shit. This thing here, all of them serve a purpose. I'm going to show you how. Let me keep continuing, because I want to keep this short enough so I can use the battery, because I'm not near my charger. Yeah, so the language of numbers, Fibonacci sequence and all that is even in your DNA. Your DNA consists and is composed of that Fibonacci sequence. Your DNA, as I said, is technology of the cosmos. That's the technology that allows you to interface to be able to have these experiences. All of your matter in animals, in alive sentient beings, and even non-sentient beings like this tree, is composed of atoms. Do you understand? And that atoms make up its DNA. So that DNA is its kind of hardware for it to access all of this software that we see in creation. Everything we interact with is the software, the programs and shit. But you have the hardware hardwired into your DNA. Even things like the binary code, which is hardwired into nature, just 1s and 0s, that is a form of cosmic communication. So within your DNA, you have binary code. That's why people like the Hopi Indians and the Dogon, because they know about this connection with the binary code, they can go along doing lines and circles, and make this bitch rain, because they understand binary code and how it works and how they're interconnected with nature. Like I showed you on my TZT page, I posted that nature god, I would say, who was commanding the water. That was a real Moses that we were seeing right there. He was commanding the water, yo, stop, go back, all right, come. He's telling the water to come. Remember, we're 77% water, you know. Remember, we are Mother Nature. Based on this, what I'm giving you here, these golden keys, okay? So we've got binary code in our DNA. DNA in itself is digital, or can be seen as digital. Just like you look at this digital shit, terabytes and megabytes and all that stuff on your laptop. Your DNA is the same. Therefore, your DNA is programmable. That's why I said in the last live, most humans are running off a program that they didn't put on themselves. Somebody else programmed them to be a Muslim, or to be a Christian, or to be a Jew, or to be an atheist, or to believe in Big Bang Theory based on what school taught you, or to believe in history, Columbus and all of that bullshit. Like, it's all a program. And most of us operate from this bullshit ass program that they gave us in school. And all school does is teach you the scripted delusion that you think is real. That's the matrix. That's separate from this holographic illusion. That's how they control holographic illusion. It's a war on consciousness. So if they can manipulate you psychologically so much that you don't even know you're in fucking jail, you don't even understand you're in economic, spiritual, and mental slavery. You think you're free. They told you you're free. Slavery ended, America got independence. You bought that shit. I didn't buy that shit. We're not free. We're still slaves. We're still fractals. I'm giving you the keys, the lens, so you can start seeing through. Like, hold on, this guy's making fucking sense here. I don't even know why, but it makes more sense than what they're telling you. Do you understand? Some of you will be thinking that, bastard, this nigga's making sense. Because it's the truth. There's no snake oil in this. So your DNA is programmable. And everything that you've interacted with in this world, this matrix, this delusion, television and all of that bullshit, mass media, do you understand? That's keeping you in the jail. That's the delusion. And you learned that shit in school. And it uses karma to appeal to your five senses, to trap you in them five senses. Now you're trapped in time. And it separates you from yourself. You don't even know who the fuck you are no more. Do you understand? And it separates you from other people. You think you're separate from Jedefre. You don't understand this is you talking to yourself. Right now, you are reminding yourself. I'm not teaching you nothing. Do you understand? And me, I'm reminding myself. If I'm reminding you, I'm reminding myself. So the teacher and the taught together create the teaching. So me and you is the same. We're consciousness and awareness of itself. You with me? So they tell you in science, all known particles and forces can be regarded as nodes within the all. And make note that when you say Bar Kulum, the all in the ancient language, that's not the same as saying Anu, the Most High. You're talking about two different things. The all is not nothing. The all is. That's it. You can't put anything else after that, or you're limiting the all. You can't take from it. Where you're going to take from? It's all. Yeah? And you can't add to it. Where you're going to put it? It's all. Do you understand? So it's just the all. Out of the all, wanting to have this experience, there had to be a failsafe for when demiurge and archons, to go to the Gnostic text, reptilians, greys, start playing with this thing. Hold on, we can manipulate this thing because we're disconnected from source. So that means we ain't got no energy. So now we're going to have to ramp down on other people's energy. You understand? So the failsafe for all that is who you're calling God. God is not the same as the all. The all appointed God, the Most High God, yeah, that seat, so that there could be some kind of fucking order in this experiment. Because it's an experiment. It's a physical experiment. Okay? All known particles and forces can be regarded as nodes within the all. So that means all of us here are functioning of the same one consciousness. We're just different aspects or different nodes in this allness and experiencing from that point. So each of us is a point on this all. Imagine if my body is the all and I'm littered with points on me. And each of these points is us. So all of us make up this all, you know. We're all dealing with the same consciousness. But we're dealing with this experiencing and this knowing with different lenses from different states of vibration and frequencies and different levels of awareness of ourselves. That's why they say things like you can only meet someone as far as they've met themselves. If you're way beyond there and you're speaking on a super high frequency, those people down here think you're speaking fucking Swahili. They don't know what the hell you're on about because they haven't done the work or got the drivers, updated their software. They're not iOS 8 or iOS 9. They need to be up in iOS 9 or 8. Some people is on iOS 6. They can't hear what you're saying. They can't process, to use a computer term. They can't process none of that shit. Sometimes to speak to people, you might have to come down and access their frequency. You might have to come down from iOS 10 and go back to iOS 6 to speak to somebody who's on a Christian frequency or a Muslim frequency or a racist frequency. You understand what I'm saying? You can't always speak from the heights because the person has to be on that heights to be able to even process what the fuck you're saying. You might as well be speaking French. Okay. And I want y'all to understand this, yeah? Earth, yeah, the universe in itself, as a simulation, is it's a simulation for the expansion of consciousness for growth, yeah? But I want you to see the Earth inside the universe like this. You see, if you go for your driving test, you can book a driving instructor and you take a number of lessons and you pay a money every time you take these lessons, yeah? And it might take you 2, 3, 4 months to get to your test, and then you take your test, boom, you pass, now you have your driving license. Or you could take a crash course. It's gonna cost you, yeah, especially if you don't pass, yeah? But it's a fast track, it's a crash course. So you can sit the whole day learning about this driving, and at the end of the day, you either pass or fail. If you fail, that shit was expensive, because you maybe had to pay £500 sterling money or £600 to have that privilege of having a fast track. That's how you need to see the Earth. This shit's harsh. This shit here is like a crash course for the expansion of consciousness. That's why a lot of souls like, hell no, I'm not going to Earth. That's Pete. That's like a crash course. I'd rather go through these other worlds where I can be taking my tests every week and paying the money every now and just learning slowly and surely. Yo, Earth is a crash course. It's fast track. It's whack. Yeah, and you wake up like, bastard, did I fail? Did I pass? Yo, you're back in, mate. You failed. You got karma. You have to recycle to rescue. And that's what they did. They used time and they used karma to trap us. How they did that is take us away from the teachings. If we go back to ancient Kemet and stuff, we were living in such a Ma'atian, moral, principle, spiritual, high vibrationary way. We didn't have much karma. There weren't much people that had karma. Karma was like a myth thing. Like one off, oh, this guy killed somebody, oh, he's got karma, you know, he's gonna have to be. But we didn't have that throughout society running rampant like now. We didn't have karma, so they needed to create this loads of karma. Don't get me wrong, karma was always there as a principle, but we were so far away from our lower self and living in this high state that we didn't have to worry about karma like that. So now we're in a world where it's karma everywhere. You've got karma, I've got karma, England's got karma, the royal family's got, everybody's got a fucking karma. So now we can't escape this realm. Because from the moment you die, it's like, bastard, this nigga here, this soul here is way down with karma. The karma's like 2 times heavier than the fucking soul. There's no way you're ascending from here. Do you understand where I'm going with this? So back in the ancient days, it was way easier for us to ascend because there was less karma. So these archons now, they came and created karma by taking us away from this Ma'atian spirituality, creating religions and creating politics and creating isms and schisms and racism and creating more illusions to the point where you started believing in them fucking illusions more than your Ma'at. Now you're creating karma for yourself. We're acting out of order. We're no longer in the order of Ma'at. We're out disordered now. And when we're out of order, now we're easy pickings. Because now we're just creating a whole bunch of fucking karma and a karmic realm that traps souls and recycles them. And they've been doing this for 6,000 years. Hold on, I need to light this place. You guys with me, yeah? So I want you to understand as well, I'll get back to this, I'll just make this point now. Even when you're talking about evil and you're talking about demiurge and archons and stuff, they serve a purpose. That's what you can term in science as extreme polarity, like if you have up, down. If you have hot, you have to have cold. If you have fast, you have to have slow. Like all of them are connected. We're in a polar universe. So some of these things that we see as evil and the devil and like it's just all out of control, it serves a purpose. It's part of the fucking schematics of the realm. That shit will be absorbed back into the source energy after it served its purpose and healed. You don't have to fear that shit. You have to fear you fucking up. You are the biggest enemy you should fear. Not no reptiles, not no government, not no archons, not no jokes or none of that shit. You. Do you understand? And how you align with the natural order of things. Right, where am I? Okay. Yeah, so we're perceiving this reality from different levels, yeah, of freedom-seeking stages or freedom-seeking stages of evolution. There's different levels of freedom-seeking stages that all of us are seeking a freedom from this prison of the matter and stuff. And this goes into what's called Socratic dialogue. We know who Socrates is, right? Well, we should. He was one of the main Greek philosophers who was like the early ones, who all the rest learnt from. So first came Socrates, then out of Socrates came man like Plato and Aristotle and stuff. They was all in Socrates' teachings. So Socrates is the original like intelligence man in Greece. And we show you in Treasures in the Sand, we give you a bust, the bust of Socrates, and show you this was a nigger like me and you. Don't think of a white Tamahu Mzungu Greek when you hear about Socrates. And this is why he's so celebrated, and this is why they killed him. Do the research. They killed him because he started making Greeks think different. Like, hold on, this nigga's for real. This is for real, especially the youths. So the elites in Greece thought, yo, we need to kill him quick, you know, or else he's going to make all these men start thinking like these black men in the Nile Valley and that. We need to kick these niggas out because they were Pelasgians like the real Greeks, the black Greeks. So they killed him. But Socratic dialogue is based on what's called now in the 21st century, holistics. So it goes back to what Jedefre's been saying for the last 10 years. Yeah, holistic quantum reality, which says, okay, everything is connected. Allness, when you hear me saying Barkalum, allness, the oneness of all things. This is Mzungu language to tell you what Jedefre's already been telling you. They're now terming it 21st century holistics, holistic quantum reality, which pivots around multiple spiritual planes. Boom. The same shit that our ancestors been telling us since the Emerald Tablets, since 10,000, 20,000 years ago. This ain't no new shit that they want to scribble up under some author and say the secret, run the buy-in. Nigga, that's the Emerald Tablets. How about that? Bomber clock secret. And this is what I'm trying to show you in my writings, that they're taking our shit and recycling it and giving us tidbits. But if you go back to your source, you don't need the dilute. You can go straight back to the pure orange juice. Like, hold on, these niggas is, yo, they're having a laugh at. But you have to initiate that because it's not hidden, it's there. They're gonna make you not recognize it because they can't fucking hide it really. It's fucking there, man, especially now. Do you understand? They're gonna make you not value it. They're gonna make you value everything else other than it, like your job, oh, the workspace, my paycheck, and everything else. Do you understand? And this is how they trap us here. Let me go on, man, because I need to go faster. I'm not getting through these notes. It's 2 pages. Fucking, where am I? So the great spiritual masters, they already knew all this stuff that quantum theory is trying to tell us now, like it's some kind of new breakthrough. They already reached them levels of consciousness. They perceived these freedom-seeking stages of evolution. They navigated these planes, the wise men and the wise women, the seers, the sages, the prophets, the real prophets, all of them prophets in the Bible and Quran and Torah, like Muhammad. Them people were what you call karamas. They were masters. They weren't just prophets, how religion's trying to give you this fairy tale thing. These were men that could move through the planes, that could move through dimensions. When they're giving you that, oh, how Muhammad went through the 7 heavens, he went there in his spiritual. They're trying to tell you he flew up there on a winged donkey on some fairy tale shit, some Sinbad shit. There was a donkey with wings and he flew up through the 7 heavens, knocking on doors and all types of shit. Nigga, that was with the pineal gland. He was moving with his astral body. He had known how to bring up his astral body. All of the real prophets knew how to bring up their astral self and leave this realm. They weren't prisoners of this realm. So they could communicate on the 4th dimension with higher powers. And remember, this whole shit is controlled from the 4th plane. So these karamas had control over the forces of nature, like the video I posted on the TZT page with the geyser controlling the water. Because we are connected with the cosmos, it's in our DNA and we're inside it. And so we have what's called sun heat genes. We're the only people who have these sun heat genes because we have a full connection to the electromagnetic spectrum. And that's why they kill us and vamp of us the way they do, because we have the highest energy. We're like the highest energy food in this realm. So they could vamp off our loosh. You know what loosh is, innit? It's plasmic energy when you're bleeding plasmically. Like if you're in a depression, you're bleeding. Your energy is like you cut and you're bleeding. You're bleeding what's called loosh. So certain parasites, entities, unclean spirits, they can latch onto you like a leech and be, yo, this person, let's keep them depressed. Let's keep them like, yo, so you want to kill it. So that's a feast for certain entities. This realm is full of them because there's so much loose. Everybody's bleeding. If we could peep into all these houses around here, do you know how much people will be bleeding this plasma? leaking loose. This realm, they're having a feast down here. Now it's different. Since 2020 and the awakening and shit, yo, it's cut off their feast. Hold on, there's no loosh. Niggas ain't scared no more. People is waking up. This is why they reacting the way they are. Hold on, who cut off our food? We was having a banquet down here. Now we're having scraps. That's what's going on here. Yeah, so holistic quantum reality, what science is giving you now in quantum theory, pivots around multiple spiritual planes and levels of consciousness, levels perceived from different freedom-seeking stages of evolution. The great spiritual masters, ancestors, navigated these planes. As I said, not only men, wise men and wise women, women seers too, and men seers, sages, prophets, prophetesses like Deborah, who they don't really want to talk about. We had control over the forces of nature and still have control over the forces of nature because of our sun heat genes and our carbon, yeah, and which makes us able to download the whole electromagnetic spectrum back to source energy. DNA is a storehouse of information that changes based on your experiences. So all these experiences you're having as the all, yeah, changes your DNA. As I said, your DNA is the technology that allows you to interface in these many different dimensions and realms. What they did, the Archons, they broke our DNA. Our DNA is actually broken. That's why they tell us about junk DNA, like it don't do nothing. That's the DNA that they broke or made inactive so that when we're born, we don't even remember shit. But hold on, we just start crying. What the fuck? I don't remember shit. Who am I? Where am I? What is this? So your whole life is spelt like in amnesia, like this has been going on 6,000 years. We never used to be born like that. When we were born, we remembered all our past lives, remembered who we was, remembered all our superpowers and skills. They hit that switch. So now you're only using that 15% of DNA, yeah? And this is how they control us, yeah? The universe is inside you, and you're inside the universe. It's inside your DNA. Your DNA stores all your interactions, all your experiences, and it changes based on these experiences. This is the technology of Anu, which is a living library of experiences, which involves, like I said, networks and anatomical systems, neurons firing in a network. You're not one person. When you talk about yourself as, okay, I'm Jadefre. Jadefre is a collection of billions of entities unified into what you call this anatomical body, or what I call my avatar or my vessel. You created this. You created yourself on the planet using this technology. You understand? Your technology. Yeah, they tricked you and told you to put the power outside yourself. So you don't understand it in the Bible when it's telling you that God breathed his spirit into man and man became a living soul. That's what I just explained to you when I'm talking about sun heat genes and how the inside of you is a light being, and the light being is driving this vehicle right now. This is not me, what you see here. This is a projection that I've projected so I can speak to you, so I can interact with you, so we can all interact. And all of us are aspects of the all, so we'll all be led back to self, or the oneness of all things, the oneness of me and you, okay? It's a school that we're in, and an experiment at the same time, yeah? So you're not one entity. Your anatomy is unified, a collection of billions of unified entities working together in harmony. And this is what science is telling you now with their 21st century holistics, which is based off the word holotropic, which means what I just said to you. Holo means moving, yeah? And tropic in the Greek language, this means moving towards wholeness, or what is in the teachings of Isis as once again becoming a whole light being. You see how they're using the same terms and the same words, but because we ain't versed in this shit, we think it's something new. But our ancestors already discovered where mind and matter meet. There's a place where mind and matter meet. Like Muzungu was still trying to work out what gives mass to matter. They've only just got there. And okay, consciousness gives mass to matter. There's a whole consciousness underlying this physical creation. They've only got there now. We was already there 10,000 years ago. The ancestors were saying, yo, that's where mind and matter meet. Perception, yeah? It was in the Emerald Formula, or the Emerald Tablets of Tahuti, which was based on and taught you about willful intent, imagination, which is I, Magi, nation, idea, mind, thought, form, desire, action, physicality. All of that is linked. I'll say it again. Willful intent, imagination, idea, mind, thought, form, desire, action, physicality. That's all linked, and it's linked in perception. And perception shapes matter, or perception shapes reality. Therefore, reality is only your perception. Whatever you perceive reality to be, that's going to be your reality. It don't have to be everybody else's reality, but that's you placeboed yourself, so that's going to be your reality. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's your truth. Yeah. So when you hear in science what they call the relative permanence program, yeah, this is speaking about the role of the operator, the source of light, the light source, or the intelligent source, yeah, which forms a permanent picture based on a certain lens, yeah, and a projection of your shadow onto a screen as a visible illusion. I know that was a mouthful. What it basically means is that you are creating this illusion, just like how when you get a projector or a TV, there's a light source and there's somebody operating the projector, and there's a lens and there's a screen, and you project that reality onto that screen. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same principle you're doing now. It's the same thing I'm doing now to present myself right here as a hologram. I appear real. We've got holograms and we say, okay, that's a hologram, it's not real. But we're holograms. We're in a holographic universe. I'm projecting myself here from a higher plane. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, where am I now? The role of the operator, source life onto the screen visible. Yeah, this connects with divine. Yeah, this connects with divine, divine spirit, life spirit, abstract thought, ideas, concrete thought. Yeah, so you've got divine spirit, you've got life spirit, you've got abstract thought, you've got ideas, and you've got concrete thought. Yeah, and all of that comes from the mental reservoir, which in spirituality they tell us is called the Akasha Records, which is the tablet of destinies, yeah? And that's the bridge to infinity and the escape route out of this prison box, yeah? The holographic state, yeah? So the universe, in essence, to sum it up, is just an interconnected, unbroken wholeness, yeah? You will learn that when you study Bell's Forum or the observer effect in science, because I want you lot to start studying science too, even nursery science, so you can get familiar with these terms. You understand what I'm saying? Bell's theorem and the observer effect proves to the Muzungu that consciousness underlies all reality, just like our ancestors told us, and it's that which gives mass to matter, that God particle that they've been looking for. It's not even a particle. There's no such thing as a particle. You understand? That's a placebo that they made up. You understand? Because it's a wholeness, yeah? So they're learning that there's only one consciousness. It's the same 1,000,000,008,000,000 consciousnesses that I told you is unified into this super collective consciousness, which is all the melanated people. Do you understand? This is our creation, yeah? Well, I'm going to have to go into another life to give you that black root science there. I'm just going to base on this so I don't confuse you guys, yeah? Because this is a lot still. So it underlies all reality, consciousness, and gives mass to matter, yeah? And there's 1,000,008,000,000 unified minds in this supreme universal consciousness, if you want to say Bar Kolum, okay? And it's timeless. In our realm, time only exists underneath this dome, and so does space. When you go outside of this dome, there's no space, there's no time. It's a part of the illusion that we've created, yeah? That Mother Nature's created, this illusion of complexity from simplicity with purity, if that makes sense. I don't want to lose you guys, yeah? I'm trying to put it as best as I can. The permanence program. Yeah, so the role of the operator. So, as I said, the perceived and the perceiver is the same thing. The teacher and the taught together create the teaching, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm leading you back to yourself. I'm not leading you to the Jeffrey. Yeah, and this connects with, as I said, divine spirit, life spirit, abstract thought, ideas, concrete thought, desire, and physicality. And as I said, all thoughts come down from the mental reservoir, the mental plane, which is where the Akasha Records or the Tablet of Destinies is housed. And that has knowledge of past, present, and future all in one. You understand what I'm saying? Just intuitively. Yeah, it's the bridge to infinity and the escape route from this hologram back into the holotropic state, which means coming back to the wholeness of yourself, going back to source energy. Because when people pass this realm, some beings down here, they have this like a game. Not in a bad way. To them, this is exciting. Yo, I'm going Earth. This is a game. I've made my own character, yeah? Jedefre. And I'm going to navigate through this game, yeah? And when I win, I can either connect back to my oversoul, which can be a soul group. Some of you might be in my soul group. It can be a soul group consciousness. Or I can connect back to source. Or I can go to another world and have another experience like Earth, like it's a video game thing. Like some souls do that, some advanced souls, you understand? Some are doing it here on Earth. Some shadow beings are here on Earth as shapeshifters and living as humans and shapeshifters and doing evil and shit. So it's this realm is not what you think. They programmed you to believe in this shit they told you in school, that there's only 5 senses and magic don't exist and aliens don't exist and this is just some bullshit, boring old go to work, come home, fucking life, and then you're dead ras before you can even enjoy the shit little pension they gave you. Now you're too old to buy a fucking Ferrari. It's crazy down here. Humans are insane. Hold on. Yeah, so the holotropic state is the Tamahu learning the oneness of all things and going and being led back to the oneness of all things. No matter what he intended, that's where he'll be fucking led back to. Yeah, the universe is an interconnected, unbroken wholeness. Bell's theorem and the observer effect is teaching them that shit now, even though they're not teaching you that shit. Yeah, and these timeless quantum, these concepts, quantum, these new fields of quantum theory and quantum mechanics, there's nothing new about it. It's new to the Tamahu. For us, this is timeless spiritual precepts that were passed down to us. Ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge that all of our kingdoms, whether it was the Olmecs, whether it was the Kemetians, whether it was the Xian Shang Chinese, Black Chinese, we was using this information from, that's how we ran these kingdoms in the way that they were ran. That's why they still fucking have people in awe today when they go and look at Egypt or go and study Sumeria or go to Mexico and look at these step pyramids and the Mayans and all. It still baffles people because it was so much better than this bullshit dead ass world that we see here. There's no magic in the trees, there's no magic in the air, there's no magic in people. Fucking people hardly smile no more, and it's getting worse. And it's up to us. You're responsible for your fucking creation. I'll advise you guys to watch a movie with Ryan Reynolds named Nines, and it will get at this information, what I'm telling you. Maybe you'll start seeing what I'm telling you a bit different. It's called Nines. It's got Ryan Reynolds in, the geezer from Deadpool. Watch that fucking movie and come back to this live, and I bet you will start seeing things different, okay? Come, let's go. Yeah, so all creation reality is the manifestation of an infinite singularity or a creative principle, a single creative principle, a single collected consciousness or an infinite singularity. The same thing they're trying to do with the internet and AI now. They're trying to reach singularity. In our technology, Anu's technology, we're already in a singularity. But I'm going to break this down for you. Yeah. So when they call, when they taking you back to this infinite singularity, this creative principle, yeah, being called God. Remember what I said, it's really Bar Kolum, the oneness of all things, which is not God. God was created by Bar Kolum, was appointed as the caretaker, the one to keep the balance, to keep the order, yeah. Bar Kolum is beyond God. Bar Kolum doesn't have form, doesn't have shape, doesn't have size, doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have end, doesn't have race, doesn't have none of that shit, doesn't have time. It's the all is. That's the only way you can explain it in our language with this limited consciousness. You can't say the all is the most high or the all is the first. The all is the first, the last, the most high, the most lowest, the fast, the black. You understand? And you can't worship the all, because to worship the all is good, evil, indifferent. You understand? So it gave you a focal point that you're calling God. God has a beginning in space and time. The most high is Anu, Elyoin Elyoinel, and his wife, Antum, Elyoin Elyoinel. They was appointed as the Most High. So they represent this allness within themselves. They have permission to create worlds, to destroy worlds, to keep the kind of order, to keep a balance, to keep ma'at. You understand what I'm saying? But when these Muzungu were telling you about this single creativity, this single point of infinite singularity, creative principle, they're telling you about the all, Bakulum. Yeah, what we call in our language, Bakulum, in the Cushitic, or if you want to go to the Aramaic, in the Bible, they're going to say El Olam. Do you understand? And what is it in the Arabic again? I can't even remember. Let me just keep going because I got notes to go through. So the oneness of all things, even reptilians are included. Even the fucking, what the Gnostic text called the Archons, yeah, who interfered with this experiment to trap us in this matrix. That is what you can call extreme polarity. There's a purpose for it. It's not just on the off chance, like there's no control to it. Do you understand? That's a part of the master plan. Okay. So even the reptilians, after they reach a certain point and they fulfill their purpose, and Greys and whoever else, evils and nasties, they will be absorbed back into the source and healed. Yeah. So with this, what I'm giving you, I want you guys to understand that we've gone beyond Newtonian physics, gravity and all of that 5 cents bullshit. We've gone beyond Einstein and his crazy hair looking self. We've left him in the fucking mist. We're somewhere else with what we're talking about here. We've gone into the field of quantum dynamics, quantum mechanics, quantum physics. We're touching on torsion theory, Big Bang theory. We're even touching on M theory, which is the multiverse theory. Because all of this, what I'm telling you, shows you that therefore there cannot be one universe. There's multiple fucking universes. They are admitting these shits now. I'm not making this up. You can Google everything I've said here, and you'll near enough find receipts for all of this shit, Dan. Even from people like Tyson DeGrasse. Yeah, so the all is undivided, even though the illusion is that everything's divided, everything's separate. That's a tree, I'm a human, this is an ant, that's the earth, this is this planet. Everything looks like it's separate. But when you go beyond the mirror, remember the mirror is the atom. Once you go beyond the atom, you're not in physical reality no more. Now you're in another fucking reality. This reality controls the physical reality. So when you go beyond the mirror into the subatomic, now you can fiddle with shit on this side. All of this shit on this side is controlled from that side. And the rules on that side ain't got nothing to do with the rules on this side. Your laws of physics and Mother Nature and all of that shit, that's just for this side of the mirror. Yeah, and this is the negative side. We think life is the positive side and then we die. And it's all negative. Nigga, the other side is the positive side. This is the fucking side, the negative side. So in essence, we dead here. This is fucking death. And we ain't alive until we die or fucking ascend and go back to the other side of the mirror where you're like, fucking hell, is this what's going on? You're like, yo, I nearly fell for that shit. I thought that shit was real. Yo, I thought Jadefe was real. I thought I really had $1 million and 4 wife, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you a view of how this shit is. Let's go on, man, because I'm nearly done with this page and I can breeze through the other one. So this undivided whole is in a perpetual state of flux or change. And because it keeps transforming in its perpetual state of flux, the Mzungu's fool to think all this shit separate. And he's looking at all of this shit as separate parts. The particle, the wave, forces, yeah? Electromagnetism, gravity, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, black matter, dark flow, dark energy, till he's all spazzed out, yeah, because all this shit's just spun him out. When really, each segment is the whole. You can work out the whole by looking at it in a holistic way, not in a separated way. Yo, I should use better language, but I hope you're getting me, man. It's a single gigantic field of energy that is always in flux. It's always in a in a constant state of change. But change is an illusion, because underneath that change, the reality is always the same. It's always the same. That's the real side of reality. This is just the simulation, okay? Consciousness, yeah, is what drives this whole shit. Even when they say everything is energy, nah, nigga, everything is consciousness. Consciousness creates the energy, yeah? Matter, physical matter like this solid here, this solid pole, yeah, or this solid bone and skin, yeah, that is just slowed down energy, because everything is in flux. The faster it goes, like if I do my hand, if I could do this as fast as I could, my hand would disappear. You wouldn't see my hand no more because it's going too fast, it's vibrating too high. When it slows down, it becomes seen, it becomes physical, it becomes dense. So matter is just energy that's slowed down to such a density that now it manifests as something hard, like it's solid. In reality, when in essence, it's not really there. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just energy. It's just slowed down energy. If you speed up, you'll become more lighter. Do you understand? Where people couldn't even touch you, the hand will probably go through you. Like when the devil first met Adam and Eve, he couldn't touch them. They were fluxing too high. He had to get them to eat meat so their vibration could dead down so they could come like this, so he could torture them. We don't know that because we read in the white man's Bible instead of our own shit. Matter, this is science. This is not my opinion, yeah? Matter does not exist with any certainty. If you look at any atom, it's empty. It's just got a nucleus with empty space around it, yeah, which they call a shell, but it's not a shell, it's just empty space. And then they say the electrons and the neurons are circulating in this empty space. According to how far the electron is from the nucleus, they say that's the size of the atom. But the atom don't really it's not even definite. You understand? It don't really even exist. It's an illusion in this simulation. Let me try and explain that a bit better for you. It has the tendency to exist, but it doesn't really fucking exist. And that's why when they do the two slits experiment, and when the observer effect, when they try and look at this matter and study it, the mere fact that they're looking at it changes the whole fucking experiment. The atoms know, okay, that somebody's looking at us. We're being watched. So because we're being watched, now we're not going to behave like they expect us to. If they expect us to go left, we're going to go right. This is how Mother Nature is. This is how the universe works. Do you understand? So they got experiments where they, hold on, this shit's conscious. These atoms are conscious. They know when we're watching them and when we're not. So therefore, we can't really do an experiment, because the mere fact that we're watching it changes the results of the experiment. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hold on. There's a consciousness underneath all reality. Mad thing. Yeah? So atoms don't really exist. When you go on the other side of the atom, subatomic side, there's no place. You can't say, okay, atoms here. They're everywhere. That's why if you affect one there, you affect one over there. Now hold on, all this shit's connected. Do you understand what I'm saying? All the rules are different. Like if you watch Doctor Strange Marvel, he keeps going into the quantum verse or the metaverse where everything's fucking different. All the rules are different. There's no gravity, there's none of that shit that governs this physical reality, because this shit's not physical. You understand? And our ancestors were in communion with that side. We used to come to and fro, back and forth. And somebody trapped us on this side of the mirror and got us thinking that this is the positive side, that this is all there is. This is sick. Yo, YOLO, you only live once. Yeah, physicality, sex, money, fucking drugs, the whole lot. War. They've trapped us here. Boom, we've reached the second page, guys. I'm gonna float through this, yeah? I hope you're enjoying this, because this is serious information. This will go over most people's heads, especially religious people, unless they're really honest with themselves, and a lot of people ain't, especially when it comes to religion. They won't get what I'm saying, man. So shout out to you if you're still, all 7 of you. And this is why more time I'd rather just talk about Anunnakis. Because if I go and talking about this shit, most people are like, yo, you lost me. I don't know what you're talking about. So what I just told you about the observer effect and stuff, that comes under what's called Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Things like Schrodinger's theory with the cat and stuff, I'll leave you lot to research that for yourself, so you have some homework to do for yourself and find things out for yourself, because it's mind-blowing, it's fascinating. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and Schrodinger's theory. The existence of the observer is fundamental to the existence of the universe. I'm going to say this for you guys again, and I'm going to give you 1 minute to digest it, and then I'm going to unpack it. Listen closely. The universe, the existence of the observer, you, is fundamental to the existence of the universe. Ponder on that for 1 minute, and I'll break it down for you. The existence of the observer is fundamental to the existence of the universe. If you didn't just say, wow, you didn't really get it. So I'll break it down for you. That means if you die right now, this whole universe and everything in it, including me, dies with you. This universe exists because of you. What do I mean by that? I'm speaking to you now as Jedefre in this fractal sense, yeah? But everything Jedefre is saying is not happening outside of you. In order for you to see me right now, the light has to go inside your eyes, upside down, and inside your head, you flip the image and translate the image, the frequencies, the energy, into what you're seeing on your screen right now. So you did that inside of your head. It's not happening outside here. For you to hear me beyond the phone, the sound has to go inside your ears, hit your eardrum, inside your head, not outside your head. So that shit ain't happening outside here. You're hearing Jedefre inside your fucking head. So that means everything that you see, everything that you do is really happening inside of you. There's no outside. Everything you're doing right now is inside of you. Me speaking right now, you created me in your reality, in your head. I'm not outside of your head. I'm inside of your head. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you understand that, understand it, and overstand it, you've got yourself a fucking skeleton key to work with, to go and find which door you can get up out this bitch. I've just given you the keys. Do you understand what I'm saying? The key is in this frequency harmonics and these light harmonics that I'm giving you here. Yeah? The person who overstands this will go on a fucking journey and have their own keys to leave this place. I'm telling you now, you'll join me. You'll probably see me opening the door, leaving this bitch too. You understand? But you have your own skeleton keys, man. I'm being real with you. I'm not giving you snake oil like these content creators out here. I'm giving you notes so you can go and research this shit for yourself. Yeah? Okay, where was I? So you, the observer, yeah? You, the observer, you give life to this whole universe and everything in it as the creator. You. That's why you can create a baby. That's why you can speak. That's why you can make things. That's why you can see. That's why you can hear. That's why you can taste. That's why you can feel, touch. Do you understand? You are the universe in awareness of itself. You understand? You, universe. It's you. I'm inside your head. Yeah, the universe is a product of consciousness. It needs a conscious observer to be real. If there was no humans here, there's no universe. Understand that and understand it and then overstand it. Okay? It's all illusions. Yeah? It means the universe is a product of consciousness and it's creating these illusions so you could have these experiences to come back into the full knowing of yourself. So it's all based on the knowing, because you already know. You're here to experience what you know. So as Tahuti put it in the Emerald Tablets, the universe is mental from the mind of the all. I'll give you again, the universe is mental from the mind of the all. You are a thought of the all. Do you understand what I'm saying? You thought yourself into this manifestation, into this avatar, into this reality, into this world, into this cosmos. You did it. So we could experience everything. And everything is limitless. So imagine. And right now, we're on the cusp. Let me get through this page anyway, because it's done in a certain way. So Bar Kalam, the oneness of all things, what we've been speaking about, that is the mind of God. Matter is completely mutable, programmable, DNA, yeah? Mutable into particles or energy. DNA can be transformed into particles or energy or force, like waveform energy, yeah? And vice versa. You can change energy and force and particles into DNA. Scientists can create DNA out of force, out of energy, in a lab. Do you understand? They are even gone to the point now where they created GNA, which is digital DNA. We've spoke about this before. Yeah, and when they're dealing with the nano, that is like digital DNA, but we're not going to go there because they'll fucking remove this live after we've gone so far into this beautiful discussion. So we'll leave that out. Yeah, but on a subatomic level, matter don't even exist with any certainty, any definite place. But it rather shows tendencies to exist in an illusion where consciousness is pinpointing it wants to have this experience or that experience. Okay? Atoms have no size, yeah? It's just a dynamic web of interconnected and inseparable energy patterns that speed up and slow down in frequency and vibration. So it densifies and it, you understand? What's the word for de-densifying? The opposite of densifying anyway. So there's really no such thing as a part. We are not separate parts of a whole. We are the whole. So when I say the affirmation, Anuki fipa ashuk shil kolum wakul ashuk kalun fini, Anuki farugun shil kolum wakul kalun farugun shilni. That means I am a part of the all, and the all is a part of me. But when I say that, I'm speaking in this terms that you're not a separate part of the whole. You are the whole. But as a fractal, we say it like that. I'm a part of the all, and the all is a part of me. So this is why I tell people, in terms of our black love, find your other half within yourself, not in a partner. Become a whole. Because if you're saying, oh, my other half is my partner, then you're a fractal. You're going to remain a fractal. Find your whole in yourself, and then go out there and find a whole in your partner. And the two of you are whole beings. You understand what I'm saying? They try and trap us in this other half shit. So now you're only half a being. You ain't found your other half in you, because your other half is the divine feminine as a man. And you, woman, your other half is the sacred masculine as a woman. That's your other half. So once you can like harmonize that within yourself and become that living, walking, you're going to mirror that in your outer world. You'll find your mirror in a woman, or in a man if you're a woman. You're in a partner. You understand what I'm saying? yeah, so, okay. So to end it, let's sum it up. This matrix now I've taught you guys about the, well, I've shared notes. I'm not teaching you nothing. You've reminded yourself about the original holographic reality, yeah? So now you're going to separate and remind yourself about the matrix. We're going to speak about this separately. The matrix, as we said, the matrix is the scripted delusion, yeah, that you've been taught to think is reality. Like everything, like official history, religion, all of that shit they taught us in school, that's the matrix. That's separate from this holographic reality that was supposed to be fun, where we could come and experience everything. The matrix is how they trap us in this reality and use this reality as a prison, so we can't go no higher. You understand? And that starts in fucking school, public education. But first, let me say, the matrix is ran, yeah, from a Saturn moon matrix. That's why it's called a matrix, because the base for running this schematics on Earth, these reptilians and archons, they took over Saturn and used Saturn like a radio. So the rings around Saturn is actually frequencies that because Saturn didn't always have them rings. They created that shit as a mind control frequency, because each planet has an effect on the other planets in the schematics of how this realm works. So Saturn is how you control the consciousness levels of all these other planets in these realms. So whoever goes to Saturn and takes over that shit, you see the hexagon thing in Saturn in the North Pole, it's basically like a record when you see the rings around it and stuff, and it's a control mechanism, and it works with the moon, that artificial hollowed out moon that they parked up there to beam down, amplify these Saturn signals to trap us. It's like an electromagnetic frequency lock, which has only been jeopardized now. It's been running for 6,000 years, but it's at its end now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they run this shit from the Saturn moon matrix. And I've told people before, you know, if you really want to understand this realm, watch 3 movies. Watch The Matrix, watch Jupiter Ascending, and watch The Truman Show. And if you watch all 3 of them movies, you'll have a kind of basic understanding of what this fucking simulation, what this matrix is really, I should say, what this matrix really is, okay? So, the separation of the whole into parts is what the matrix is, yeah? So they separate this ancient holistic science of the holographic reality, and they separate it into parts, and that becomes your trap. And they appeal to our ego, and they use fear, and they trap us in these 5 senses, yeah? And they take us away from the oneness of all things. So what we've got is a misguided view of reality that starts in school, when they start giving us this twisted delusion, yeah? Modern nursery science of the West that they're giving us on ground level in school and stuff, college, that's some fucking science for dummies. Do you understand? That's nursery shit, especially when you're talking about greys and reptilians and stuff. They look at us like we're dumb. Like, yo, what kind of science is this? Like a 2-year-old trying to show you some experiment or something. They're like, yo, these humans are, they're just food. They're dumb, and we want to keep them dumb. It's food. You understand what I'm saying? Our science is dumb. Even our best technology is dumb compared to them. Remember, we're only using at the moment 15%. We're in our fractal weakest form that we've been in. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a time when humans have been weaker than what we are now. That's why this shit might sound like, hold on, this sounds crazy, yeah, to average people. So the unmanifest and manifest, form and formlessness, waveform energy, the ether is underlying all reality, and it's conscious. You can interact with it. That's why the universe interacts with you, because underlying it is this ether, is this unmanifest that has in all the ingredients for the manifest, yeah? And it's formless, so it can create any form. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can interact with it. It's magic, yeah? It's like it's alive, and it's supposed to deal with a linear cause and effect kind of simulation, so we could experience and have fun while we're doing it, and log all of this, store all these experiences in our DNA and our memory and stuff, okay? And that's how Newtonian physics, they started going that way with it first, until they got into the quantum, and it kind of threw Newtonian physics out the window. Newtonian physics from Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein with his theory of relativity, that shit's preliminary level. That's like nursery shit. That's like, yo, when you go into the subatomic realm, it makes them man there look daft. Yeah, and that's when they come into concepts like non-locality, when I'm telling you, if you affect one atom, you affect the other atom, and the interconnectedness between all matter. Another way, meaning the oneness of all things, what we've always been speaking about. Yeah, we didn't need to go to Harvard and do science courses and fucking quantum theory studies to know this shit. We already knew this shit because our ancestors studied this shit, and they weren't slaves, they were enslaved. They were masters, they were scientists, they followed the rules, do you understand what I'm saying, of the realm. That's why they remain honored. They'd rather die with their honor than dishonor themselves and break the rules like these Tamahu did. They had to break the rules to make this realm what it is. You wouldn't break the rules. We was like, fuck that, we're not breaking the rules, because we're going to condemn ourselves and trap ourselves with the karma in this realm. So a lot of our masters accepted that, bastard, we have to go through this. This is part of the plan. People want to run around here like someone won and someone lost. Oh, black people lost, white man conquered the world. You don't even understand reality. You need to go beyond that race shit and that religious shit and get out that Bible and get out that Quran to even have a chance of ascending from this realm. See, most people don't understand. They in this self-righteous thing. They think they got it in that book. They haven't. They only got fractals of it, pieces of it. But to put it back together now, you're going to have to come out that book. Most of us anyway. So the multiverse theory is real. That Stephen Hawking's a little crooked geezer, the Muzungu in the wheelchair that they was telling you is the new Einstein and shit. He came up with, or he started championing what's called M theory. You can translate that as master theory or multiverse theory, but they call it the theory of everything, yeah? That's what they was looking for. This theory of everything that ties every fucking thing together, where every view is correct. Big Bang theory, Torsion theory, string theory, it's all correct. It's all running at the same fucking time. That's where they reached before this little crippled nigga died on his chair, when he was warning them not to mess with CERN and that, because he realized, he came to that point, bastard, all this shit's connected. Yo, God is real. He admitted it. He was like, yo, this Barkalum shit's for real. The nigga admitted it before he died. He warned them, yo, don't do this thing with CERN, you know, because at the end of the day, we can't win. And they don't want to listen to him, and he brainier than them. Yeah. Time don't exist. It don't exist outside this dome. Time only exists here as a part of this simulation, and on other worlds as a part of their simulation, based on their own time zones. But once we get out of these worlds and we get back into the real reality, time don't exist. They're using that shit down here as a trap, trapping you in seconds. You ain't even in the first. Mad thing. Yeah. All viewpoints are correct. Whether you want to go into Buddhism, there's Buddhists that reach the fucking singularity and their shit's correct. There's Hindus, they reach the singularity, their shit's correct. There's Muslims, some of them reach the fucking singularity, their shit's correct. I'm not talking about orthodox religions. I'm talking about some of the sages that saw through that shit, but they came through that culture, so you can class them as a Muslim or whatever, but they wasn't an orthodox like Sunni, or they went down, figured shit out differently, yeah? And the same with Hindus, and the same with Buddhists, and the same with Christians, and the same with atheists, and you understand? Nobody's got an exclusive on the truth. You can find that singularity through any one of them avenues, or you could get trapped in any one of them avenues or boxes or programs, whatever you want to term it. The either is underlying all reality, and that's the multiverse theory. All the best scientists in the earth today will tell you that the either is real. It's not even a theory for them. For them, it's the only thing that's not a theory. It's fucking real. Everything else to them is a theory. Research it for yourself. And you know what the highest form of either is, which is 9 ether. But that's for another live, yeah? So linear cause and effect, Newtonian physics is dead in the water. That shit was like 19th century, 20th century understanding. The expansion of consciousness and where consciousness is now, we left that shit dead in the waters, along with Einstein and his theory of relativity. What they do, because they worship these guys so much, they try and save the theory by doing ad hoc changes here and there. Well, it's not completely wrong, we'll just adjust this bit, and now it's right. Oh, we'll just fix this bit, we'll just patch up this bit, and adapt this bit, and adjust this bit. These fucking theories that they're giving us, that they're always having to change because they don't work. They only work in the standard model of cosmology that they've given us. Them shits only work in parts. If you put the whole standard cosmology shit together, which is how the universe originated according to them and shit, that shit don't even work. Gravity don't work, fucking strong nuclear force, none of the shit works. You understand? They have to make up this whole, hold on, 90%'s missing. We'll just call it black matter because our shit don't work. It's for real. They lost out here, man. And they don't want you to understand that your ancestors already had this science, from the Dogon to the Yorubas to the Olmecs to the Mayans to the Xian Shang Chinese to the Israelites to the Ishmaelites. We had all this shit here. We was given this shit from our inception. Music and art, that's the common ground between science and spirituality that our ancestors used. So everything for our ancestors was an art form. Just like the martial artists, they tell you everything is martial arts. Our ancestors always used to tell us, yo, everything is music, you know. The way you walk, the way you dance, everything is an art form or a music. So everything you do, the way you interact, the way you speak, the way you sit, the way you carry yourself, everything is an art form. And music and art was the in-between, and that's why even our writing was art. It was beautiful. It's like, oh, yo, wow, look at that. Everything we did was an art. We seen the beauty in this experience that we was having as these avatars, yeah? And learning the fullness of ourself. You learning about someone, whether it's your spouse or a stranger or another race, that's learning about you, about the beauty of the oneness of all things in this, this is, never-ending learning. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right, I'm nearly there. Hopefully the battery holds out. So now what we're seeing is fractals, mathematical fractals, or humans, peoples, are awakening to the reality of self, what we're speaking about here. Whether it's scientists, whether it's politicians, whether it's people who used to be racist, black people, white people, young people, old people, people are waking up to the reality. Hold on, we've been conned here. There's something way more bigger than what we've been told. This is way more magical than what we've been told. You understand what I'm saying? We're awakening to the reality of self and the reality of this simulation, this holographic simulation, and how we're kind of in a Sims video game kind of thing. How Mother Nature creates this illusion of complexity with underlying simplicity and purity, like I told you earlier, yeah? And the Matrix is a control system, a fucking, where I'll remind you again, it's the scripted delusion that we've been taught to think is reality. Do you understand? That's a control system that was put in place by people who are cut off, by beings who are cut off from the source. So now they built this matrix inside of this holographic reality based on false belief systems. And they start teaching you that shit in school, yeah? And this matrix is alive. Yeah, and it adapts to the collective consciousness that's on the earth. Whatever collective consciousness is on the earth at the time, the matrix adapts to it. It's fucking alive. And it's run by AI. Like I've been telling you guys, it's run by the cube, that Borg thing you see keep going near the sun, if you've ever clocked it. There's a big fucking cube. They show it in that Tom Cruise movie, the Oblivion. And they call it, what do they call it in there? The Tet in that movie. But in reptilian language, their own tongue, they call that shit the Borg. And that runs their AI. They are an AI-driven race that rely on AI because they cut off from source. So they can't create worlds, create life, nothing. So what they do, okay, fuck it, we'll just find life and worlds and just adapt the shit. Because we can't create it, we'll just fucking twist it up, distort it. Yeah, we like it like this, wicked. That's how they create. And so they pass themselves off as gods, when really they ain't gods. They can't create nothing. They can only distort shit. You understand what I'm saying? They are the demiurge, or what's called the archons in the Gnostic texts, like the Book of Enoch and the Nag Hammadi text and the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Emerald Tablets. They will use the term archons or the demiurge for these false gods or reptilians and shit that depict themselves as gods and come around here playing and changing and manipulating shit. And as I said, it's because they're cut off from source, so they can't create nothing. Now letters, each letter that you write or speak has a numerical value. Each letter has a number value, yeah? And so that number value has a frequency and a tone, yeah? This is based on Nikola Tesla's 369, yeah? So a whole word, yeah? Each letter has a number, and each letter, if you add up the numbers of each letter in the word, what you end up with, that number, is the overall tone and vibration of the entire word. So everything you speak, everything I've said to you today carries a certain vibration, carries a certain frequency, carries a certain tone, carries a certain density. And this is how, if you're not aware of what you're saying, yeah, you can be casting spells on yourself. And you can, when you're listening to politicians or authorities, police, whoever, they're trained to put you in a spell. English language is a cursive language based on this science, yeah? It's Babylonian magic, and Babylonian magic is what's allowed this realm to be run in the way it is. It's Babylonian magic that made me have to come here and clarify this on a live for a lot of people who didn't know this already. I know a few of you already knew this shit, but there's a lot of people, they don't know this shit, and that's because we're in a spell. So the truth is obscure. Do you understand what I'm saying? Most people think the truth is what they learnt in school, or what the TV's telling them, the news and stuff, when that's got nothing to do with the truth. That's all to do with control. Right, where am I? Yeah. So each word, each letter in the word carries vibration, and the word itself carries a numerical vibration. And this is how you get word magic and spells and cursive languages and hexes and stuff like that. And all of it is to do with the technology of consciousness that we've introduced you guys to briefly in Treasures in the Sun, and that we expanded upon in What Side of History and book 6, which I'm about to release whenever I can be bothered. So the theory of everything is what they're chasing, and you'll hear this word now called the noosphere, which is, the noosphere is, like I said, how the archons and the demons, the reptilians are all a part of the process of this awakening and bringing us back to the oneness of all things, yeah? The holotropic kind of view, yeah, the wholeness and coming back to wholeness. It's the same when we think about internet, the 5G smart prison, 5G mobile phones, tablets, all this technology is actually a part of the plan, because it's only going to lead whatever they plan to do with it, because they don't know who they are either. All these evil people and archons and kabbalists and elites, they don't know who the fuck they are really. They worse off than we are. They on a lower vibration than we are. So sometimes it's not even about obsessing over them. They gonna get their karma. Everything they're doing, they're gonna have to go through their own fucking karma to come back into the source. Do you understand what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is all this internet and stuff, what it's doing is giving humans a connection. So I'm connected to you, you're connected to me. Every human on the planet will soon be connected to a point where we can be everywhere at once. If you're in America, I'm with you in America right now because you're watching this. Do you understand? So in that sense, it's making us kind of like omnipresent. It's connecting all the minds of humans on the planet. So this has not happened before. So this is a part of the awakening too. Even though they think, okay, we're going to trap people and internet and spy on people and censoring and really, it's working against them because it's increasing the collective consciousness of the earth. And it's not just collective consciousness. It's also connected consciousness and corrective consciousness, because we're unlearning certain shit that's not correct. So it's collective, it's connected, and it's corrective all at the same time. And so they can't deal with that. And so that's why they're trying this censoring and this shadow banning and stuff and telling you about, yo, Looking Glass, we seen the end and it just went mad. We couldn't control it no more. We're on the doorstep of that shit right now. You understand? So even the archons, even these greys, reptilians, Pleiadians, demons, mantids, ant people, all of them are serving a purpose, which is leading the whole, the unified whole, back to the oneness of all things and the realization of self, if that makes sense. Yeah? So that concept is called the noosphere, where now everybody's being connected. Yeah? It's a universal energy field, and it will reach a singularity. Humans will reach a singularity in that collective consciousness, the unified whole. All of this unites through interaction. Your life here is all about your interactions. In order for you to have these experiences and to come to this knowing, then you're going to have to interact with persons, places, and things. That's the sphere of human thought. You understand? That's the geosphere, which is inanimate matter, like rocks and shit. Geosphere. The biosphere, which is biological life, yeah? And the geosphere, the emergence of human cognition, meaning all of us are going to be connected and we're going to work in this one mind kind of field, this one mind consciousness. Even though they're trying to hijack it into a hive mind thing, they can't win, because it's all serving a purpose of leading us, even them, back to the realization of the oneness of all things, or as we say, Barkalum. Okay? So that's the noosphere that you're going to hear more and more. And the metaverse and all of that shit is part of the new sphere. So really, it don't even make sense worrying about metaverse and Zuckerberg and Twitter and Elon. All of them niggas is serving a purpose. Worry about you and getting yourself straight, yeah? As I said, all this unites through interaction and your perception, you understand? It's the sphere of human thought, okay? And the internet and all of this is a part of the awakening back to critical mass, or what you can call omega point. And it only takes 15% of us to influence, to create them ripples where we influence all these motherfucking fractals. Everybody has to pull up with us 15%. Do you understand? And that's why your vibration matters so much. It matters that you're not stressing out. It matters that you're not depressed. It matters that you're in a high vibration and spirit, and that your perception is turned up so you could see this reality for what it is and go back to the ultimate reality. The global internet, yeah, is a part of the fucking process, yeah? So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like they want us to believe it's a bad thing because they don't want us to have this information that I'm giving you so you could see through this whole fucking schematics. Do you understand? They want you to, let me get off the internet and over-obsess about things and fucking anxious and hysteria and fear. This is what they do. You understand? Because they lost control. Especially now we're going through the photon belt. We spoke about this before. Humans are coming to realize their collective brain power, the strength in their numbers like never before. It's having an effect. It's creating ripples in space-time. That's really the end of the lecture. So what I've done for you guys, I'm just going to briefly go through the components of what this fucking matrix, how they've been running it, so we can know what to look at to see where the change is and where certain things are going to take place, okay? So we are now coming to the end of this physical universe experiment. And the end of the experiment is what we're calling the end of time, when time unravels and time don't even exist no more. We see, hold on, everything's infinite. Time don't fucking exist. And that's why you see time going so fast right now, where every hour's only a fucking 30 minutes, half an hour. That's not them, the Archon's doing it. That's the failsafe. Like, this shit's gonna speed up and unravel till there ain't no time left. It doesn't mean things stop. It means time won't exist as a concept no more. We'll go beyond fucking time. We'll transcend it. And that unravels them. Their whole shit is based on time. That's how they trap us in this shit here. You understand? It's the end of the experiment. We're at the end of times. And that's what it meant in the scriptures, whether it was Bible, Torah, Quran. It was trying to show you this shit that I've came to teach you here. Yeah, or share with you here, sorry. Yeah, because these are just notes, like I keep telling you. So the first component of the matrix is mass media. Television, newspapers, magazine, radio, even shit like surveys. Do this survey. How do you feel about this? Do this poll, radio poll, newspaper poll, online poll. Don't do none of them, because they're able to gauge how much a society is still tuned into their illusion, still tuned into their matrix. It's for a reason. Even the universities and colleges and shit, but we'll get to that. Yeah. The next one is politics. I feel so disgusted with politics. I'm not even going to bust it down. We all know what politics is, yeah? I'm trying to save time. The next one is banking and money. Money is slavery. End of. Money is slavery. We're all out here thinking about money every fucking day. It's slavery. It's economic fucking slavery. And so is taxation. We shouldn't be thinking about new forms of money. Oh, we don't need paper money no more. Let's go to digital money, crypto money, this money, Bitcoin money, this type of... Listen, all fucking money is slavery. We should be looking for and shouting for monetary freedom. Why are we paying to be on a planet that's free? We shouldn't be paying for anything. It's part of the control. Do you understand? So we should be calling for monetary freedom. I'm not talking about like the World Economic Forum, how they're saying, oh, you own nothing. That's the next thing. That's another control thing. I'm talking about human beings saying we don't need money no more. Fuck money. Fuck the bank. Yeah? We don't need it. There's enough of everything here for everyone. If we all go back to living natural and stop hoarding up the thing. You understand what I'm saying? Guys, the battery's dying, yeah? So I'm going to end the live, yeah? And upload it.